Okay. Again, let me. Japan. What happened in Japan? What do the rumors are going around? Somebody set an atomic bomb off down there to do it. Somebody HARP was might have been responsible, or the Planet X is coming by. What's a real story on what happened in Japan, and was the what happened in Japan and what happened in the Gulf of Mexico, could that have been a direct attack on the American people to make us sick, just like just like all the firefighters in New York? I mean, it's hard to attribute evil, that kind of evil, to anyone, or point a finger at anyone, because it's almost unbelievable.
Well, having an earthquake is not unbelievable. If they had an earthquake and they had a tidal wave, and a lot of people get reactors there in the process, we'll say, and lots of people, nations come from there, not only in Japan, but throughout the world. I don't know that HARP caused that. As far as the Gulf is concerned, that will be no question. No question. And that's just the way it is.
Now, is Japan going to be able to rebuild from this? And what about the nuclear reactors? Also, the FEMA, in my film, True Face of FEMA, I filmed the first Homeland Security meeting, and they talked about an earthquake on the New Madrid fault line. We've got 14 reactors on the New Madrid fault line. Some of the prognosticators out there are saying if there was an earthquake there along the New Madrid fault line, we could have a whole new inland sea splitting the country.
Well, I don't know about that, but I'm disruptive of life and property. Could it happen? Of course. Could it be? But I don't know that it is. Maybe law enforcement thinks that there's a possibility. But there's not a lot unless you decommission the reactors. And they can do that. In Germany, they just took, and they're not going to reopen them. I think they have about 50. I think the total number was 27. But and I think that's what the U.S. got. And decommission them, then you don't have to worry about. I mean, isn't that the logical thing to do? You don't have to be a genius. And nuclear power is because of what happened. The Chinese are going ahead with reactors using thorium. I did a 64 because I was very in nuclear power. And I found the best and only safe way was to use thorium. The big hook was, well, what do you do with the waste? And I said, look, put it on a spaceship and send it to another planet.
What was that about? You blanked out on me there for a second, Bob. What was this about, another planet?
I said, if you want to get rid of nuclear spaceship and send it to another planet, it's gonna stop uranium and reactors for halt.
It seems to me
you're gonna have to use hydro.
it seems to me the technology is out there. We've got solar, we've got wind. We could put a solar generator and a wind generator on every home across America, and not have to worry about the power lines, not have to worry about hurricanes, not have to worry about nothing. But it wouldn't make the oil companies and the power companies much of a profit, would it?
No, and that figures into the equation as well. A lot of variables, and we can't cover them all, express ourselves to cost. The game's over. Tea Party people going, and 84% of them of the Patriot Act, when in fact before that they said with it, and they weren't there but for 2 months. As soon as they get there, they're visited by the they had a whole bunch of them say, come to their office all together. We're going to give you about, be able to run for your office next time, from $1 million. And of course, from the in groups. So you'll probably pull in 40, 50. And that's the way this thing works. And you just do a 95% of the people in the house. So we have no say anymore, nor in any kind of legislation in this country. Is totally compromised, has been for many years. So what's left for Americans? Pollution. Either they live on their knees. They got to.
We just blanked out on that last statement, Bob. Repeat that, please.
I said that access to the House and Senate is no longer possible, nor has it been for a long time, with the judicial system. And so, sooner or later, America will have a revolution. It has to.
Well, our founding fathers told us that we needed one every now and then, and I think it's been way overdue. That is I just had Larry Pratt on my show the other day, and he said, they've just lost touch with reality. The reality is that we, the people, are supposed to be the government, and the politicians are supposed to be working for us, and they're not. They're working for the banksters, as I call them. I guess if you got your very own printing press, pretty soon you can buy up the whole neighborhood,
The viewpoint will ultimately come, and that will happen in the process, economically and financially, bringing the United States, England. This is the intention of what has been done, and in that process, you either act or you live in your knees.
It's always been that way, Bob. I mean, the Bible is filled with stories of tyranny on people. Now, tell me about, somebody just mentioned the revolt in Egypt. Was that a real revolt? What did we see happen there? What was the story behind that? Now we got to watch the crowds. We got to see them the people, the Egyptian people, pitted against each other. Here's the pro-government people and the anti-government people, and I've been called anti-government so many times, you know, it don't have any effect. But what happened in Egypt?
Well, the seeds for change or demonstrations for many, many years. Leadership and all of those dictatorial nature for ions. And it's to be unexpected when they're hungry because they can't afford in price. They're going to be disgruntled. To be opportunistic under the circumstances, wanted to start in the region of North Africa and it was just an added plus for almost 100 years. MI6 and the Israeli 50 years have been paying people, and so
have been paying people
time we want the demonstrations. We're unhappy anyway, so go do it. That's it. And so they go out and do it. At the same time, that they want Mubarak out of the way, or they just do what they're paid to do. American politicians, they do what they're paid to do.
Our government, you know, I've been like I said, you know, I've been accused of being anti-government. I've said I'm the most pro-government guy that you ever want to meet. I just want the government, the republic form of government guaranteed me by the Constitution. Has our whole government been replaced by, whether it's communism or fascism, totalitarianism, whatever you want, whatever label you want to put on it, it's the New World Order that we've been opposing here. It's how are we going to fight this? How are we going to oppose this without becoming as evil as the people that are trying to do this to us, enslave us, kill us?
When they're hungry, yeah, these are the guys that did it to us, so let's go and take over the government. It's pretty simple.
Is that it? We just haven't reached that point. Now, they were just talking on the chat rooms about some people working in grocery stores. The prices of food are going up. It's getting going to be harder and harder to feed yourself here in this country, especially with the jobs being destroyed. Do we have to do we have to reach that point? So you know, before we really realize the average American people are going to realize what's happening to them?
Yes. It's pretty simple.
As long as they can get that six-pack of beer and get home and turn on the TV and watch American Idol, they're going to be content. If they try to turn the TV on, it don't work. If they try to, you know, if they go to the grocery store and the shelves are bare, then they might start waking up, huh? I mean, they don't call television programming for nothing, do they, Bob? It's the most fantastic mind control tool ever invented.
Well, it has had their mind control, whatever it may be, and you That's how they control people. In a literate society, throughout the world nations, half the people are... So...
Half the people are what?
Have to get really hungry before they do anything. They might be clearly, and have been educated, and they really don't want to do this until I have to. The signs will be there for the to act, and the others will follow. And there are armies in the world, they can stop the American people. 150 million armed people in a field. Something that's going to stop that. The game's over for these people, and they know a way to get out of it now. And there is no way to the ground, and they're going to have to pay. All time, we're not going to be Mr. Nice Guy.
Well, I'm all in favor of reinstituting hanging, but after a fair trial. Why can't we get any honest law enforcement people? They're out there. I know they're aware. I mean, I know a lot of people that are in the armies and military that are really good people that want to change. Why isn't the FBI or the Secret Service doing their job?
Because they're part of a new Gestapo, that's why. They're controlled by the people who control government. Change all that. People in the FBI, etc., they can be re-educated. Those things, why they shouldn't be sociopaths. A disease which is quite prevalent in American Wall Street and banking, down to your local police force. And law enforcement do what they have to do to get paid. Why you? It's pretty simple. Orders come down from Washington and, go up. You either lose your job or you go out and shoot them.
One other situation. What is
listen to this story.
Go ahead, sir.
For 1933, as the head of the national, there was a very, very famous at that time, which is unusual, man of law enforcement in Hamburg, Germany. And he was respected by everybody. So Adolf took over, and I can't remember his name. He said, look, I'm running things here now from executing the law. You don't like our party. You don't like what we stand for. And we're not going to get, take you from your job. So he agreed. And they were hauling gypsies, Jews, anybody. This guy kept his mouth shut. And so at the Nuremberg war crimes trial, he was at the tribunal. They said to him, well, why did you do what you did? Didn't like what he was doing, but you did it anyway. It was the law. And that's the excuse for all these. And it's a classic story. Good men allow evil to happen. And with that, I'll tell you how you can. Is that okay with you?
Yes, sir.
The International Forecaster is about social and political issues all over the world. We produce by email on Wednesdays and Saturdays, pages each time. Have a hard copy and everything you need to know every week is in that publication. If you'd like to get a free introductory copy, you can go to theforecaster.com, the international FORDER.com, or go to www.forecaster.com. That's intster.com. If you have a question, if you'd like a copy, you can go to this address. If you want our gold and silver recommendations, those as well. That address, BobCaster.com. Bob, RECASTER.com. For free, 877-479. That's 877-4778. You can get your copies there. If you want to be a free one-year subscription, the deal that they're offering is given.
All right. Bob, let me ask you about China. Do we have something to fear from China? And why are they building cities over there that aren't occupied? I mean, building whole cities out in the middle of nowhere with nobody in them. Shopping malls, the biggest shopping mall in the world there, and nobody in it. No stores in it. What's happening over there?
Remember the CCC?
Repeat, sir.
The CCC. It was a program by another fascist, FDR, and it put people to work for. What it is make work projects that people so that they don't revolt. So they build cities because they don't have anything else to do with these people. They don't want 40 million. And that's why make work projects exist. China is following Keynesian more than or less than corporatist fascism. As everybody knows, Keynes was of the Fabian Socialist Society, and all those have much difference between them all. They're all bad. And we have China economic precepts of all of Western United States, Canada, blah, blah, blah. Massive unemployment. They only keep them in line by telling you if you step out of line, we'll shoot you. So, can be a formidable enemy. And maybe. But they're replete with problems. Put in power by the United States government. Just like and Mubarak and Gaddafi and on. And do anybody out there make the connection? The people who run America and England and Europe, dictators. They only have to deal with one person. Tell them you do what we tell you to do and you live happily ever after. You step out of line. You remember Raul Trujillo in the Dominican Republic? He was assassinated. I, in behalf of the United States government, talk about it now because he's dead. Been dead for a long time. He was a CIA asset for years. He ran, was chief of station in San Jose Cook, and he retired, so he got a class. He told me himself. Our government murders people, or they don't do what they're told. Already.
Like President Kennedy.
Absolutely.
How dare he print up U.S. notes? I still carry one of those around in my pocket. It's kind of interesting to have a $5 bill that's worth 10 grand in your pocket.
Well, because of the left-right didn't really understand at the time what Kennedy was father. I knew the family very well. Because or Joe was long dead, killed in the war, and I didn't know Jack, nor Bobby for that. And I knew the family, all the details as to why. And that's what Jack was doing. His father told him about. And I knew his father very well. I did, as I used to be his caddy.
He was, well...
And his wife, too. That was a lot. Joe Kennedy did not have very...
Joe Kennedy didn't have what?
An outgoing personality. I'll tell you, the eighth hole, I was about 14 years old. And it was an oyster, and it was a big tournament. It was Walter Hall, who was a very famous, and they played together because they were both Irish. And they had come through over on the boat. So many people came in those days. And so anyway, caddying on the left in front of a sand trap, drive right at me. I get behind the bag. The ball hit the bag, and he had to play it out of there. And Hall came over and he said he was a pro at lived in that compound. He says that I'm gonna kick the crap out of you. Of course, I've changed the words worse than that, because both of them been drinking, and it was only, and they were half goofy as it was, but an interesting experience.
All right, Bob Chapman, we're out of time. Thank you very much for being on my show. I really appreciate the information that you give every time you come on. God bless you. And
I thank you for having me, and I thank everybody for listening.
All right, sir. Thank you again. God bless you. Bye-bye, Bob.
See you again soon. Bye-bye.
Right. Okay. Where are we at here? And do this.
Call recording has been completed.
Okay. And there. Okay, boys, come on. Be right back. Gotta walk the dogs and drain the loser.